Hello and welcome. We're in need of a nap.
We are the Sisters of the Holy Fiber. And this is episode 12. I'm Devin, also known as Rambunctious Guy, and my sister has reappeared.
And I'm Tiny Kiwi, also known as Heather. So grab your knitting or crochet or whatever you're working on and join us as we craft and chat.
Welcome to our new viewers, and welcome back to anybody who's coming back for another episode. What are you working on today?
I am pretty much exclusively working on this Fibonacci shawl. So, remember how I said, I kind of gave up last time? And I was like, I need to do 5 rows a day, and that's not going to happen. So, I've been doing 5 rows a day, and I made a lot of progress.
Wow! It looks really good.
But that means I've been pretty much exclusively working on this thing and making my fingers bleed to the bone. Okay, maybe not.
For the glory of Slytherin.
Exactly. So, and I haven't even thought about what I'm going to do for a homework project if I do, by some miracle, manage to get this done in time. Oh, good gracious. I'm tired just thinking about it. But that's what I'm working on. Yep, that's it. No, that's not it. Haha, I forgot. Just kidding. So I got out more of my fabric scraps. And there's this lovely,
Ooh.
70s print.
That's cool.
So I'm making that into a headband. But I'm mad at it right now. Because it didn't work out the way I wanted, so I have to rip some stitches.
Time out.
Try again. Yeah. And since I'm really working on this Fibonacci shawl, yeah, that's not going to happen until after the end of the month. Or if I just decide to give up on this shawl and just say that it's not going to get done by the end of the month.
Do it. Do
I can.
it.
I'm so hopeful I can actually get it done. I'm working into the middle of the night like this with a tiny little book light, and knitting right in front of it like a crazy person.
Tiny little black stitches.
Yeah, I try not to wake my boyfriend up with all the bright lights that I usually have for knitting, and all huddled over. Yeah. And I'm so tired. Oh my gosh. From all these late nights knitting to get this knitting done, because I usually just knock it out at the end of the day. Uh-huh. Each row takes me a half hour.
Yep.
Yeah. This is crazy. What makes me think what was I thinking that I could do this?
Well, if you spaced it out a little bit.
Yeah, and I really slowed down at the beginning of the month and stopped caring. That's kind of what did me in. And if I hadn't done that, it would have probably been more tolerable, but I'm getting there. And at the way things are going now, I have at least a chance of getting it done.
Yes.
So.
That's good. I'm really happy for you. And it looks really good.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how it's coming out.
Yeah.
Hopefully I actually showed you the right side, not the wrong side, now that I'm thinking about it. But I'm so tired, I wouldn't even know now. Wrong side. Wrong side has, since it's garter, the color change looks different.
Yeah, you showed us the right side.
Okay, good.
You can show us again.
Oh, okay. Yay.
Yay.
It's so big. Oh my gosh. Look at
wow.
It's falling off the needles, and I'm like, oh gosh, I guess I really should have got the longer needles now. Because they recommended the next size up in length. And I was like, oh no, never mind. I could do it on the smaller size, and then I could use this for knitting sweaters too or something. And I was like, now I'm like, I'm an idiot.
Well, those who have gone before.
Yeah, why didn't those who have gone before give me better advice, Pookie?
What?
I specifically remember you saying, oh, you could get the small size and then you can make sweaters on it too. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. Like an idiot. I blame you.
Oops, sorry.
It's
all my fault. Well, I didn't know how big it was going to be.
Yeah, well, to be fair, neither did I. Even looking at the picture that says how big it's going to be, I still didn't really believe it until it's on the needles now. And it's, look how wrinkly it is, just jammed up on there.
Yeah.
It's And I'm like, I don't have time to go to the store and get another needle, so I gotta make do with this. But
it's possible. I've done that before. It is possible. It's not very fun, but it's possible.
Just gonna cram them down on the needle.
Hey, you got space there. I see space on your needle. You got plenty of room. You got plenty of room, girl.
It's because it's coming off the other. Yeah. Oh, I gotta have my fan on. It's probably gonna be
dear.
whirring in the background. Oh well.
Oh, was your fan on?
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Oh well.
It's kind of hot in here. It's these lights.
Well, that's weird.
The lights make me hot. Lighting? Whatever. What are you working? You're so squirrely. Oh my gosh. This is what happens.
My looks funny, so I'm fixing it.
Okay. This is what happens when we don't edit. You get to see us in all of our squirrely glory.
I forgot. I don't know why I've never seen that before. Anyway, what am I working on? I'm working on these socks.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Are you I can't tell. Are you turning the heel?
Yes.
Got it.
I'm working on the heel flap right now.
Mm-hmm.
I asked my partner, how long do you want the cuff? And she's like, oh, where it is now is fine. I'm like, really? It's like not even 6 inches. She's like, it's fine. Okay. I'm going to turn the heel now. You sure you don't want it longer? No. Okay.
Stop asking. Just do.
I'll make you some crew socks next. So this is mostly what I've been working on. My knitting just kind of slowed down this last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how it is. The sashiko, I will show you. I just started working on it again today. It's so much progress. Here is the left, this is the left front. I've picked up this many stitches for the button band. I still need to pick up the rest of the stitches on the front. So that's what that is.
I thought you were on like some kind of spring break or something.
I am. But my partner and I were going to go on vacation and then going to go camping. And then our cat is not feeling well, so we stayed home instead. So she has all these days off. So instead of me spending all of my days off knitting, I've been going out and doing things with her. You know.
Like normal people.
Things.
Or what I think that normal people do. I wouldn't really know.
So, like, I went to go visit some friends and went to the outlets, and then I tweaked out my back yesterday. So then yesterday I didn't really do anything at all.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. But I still have, what is it? It's the middle of my break. It's Wednesday, so middle of my break, and we'll get there. I think I could get this front side, one of the sides done today. So that's my goal, is to get that side done today, to get the other side done tomorrow, then do the collar, and then sew the buttons on. So it's really, like, if I parcel it out like that between the days, I can still finish without working on it for a full day.
Right.
Which is possible, too. I could do that, too, if I felt like it, but...
Yeah.
That's really all I've been working on. The Kiwi cross stitch is in one of my purses, and I forgot which one it's in. So I have been working on that.
Sound like me now.
But I'm still thinking about it, and I would like to finish it one day. But that's why that project has been,
Famous
my
last
longest
words.
whip.
Yeah.
So,
The missing in action whip pretty soon.
yes.
Okay, so how about finished objects?
You're funny.
It doesn't hurt to ask.
No, I don't have anything.
All right. I finally got the rest of your potions earrings put together.
Oh,
so
awesome.
So I gotta mail those off to you.
Yay!
Since I think I was still working on them last episode, so.
Yeah.
Here's the other one. In your more Ravenclaw colors. Oh, it's so dangly. I can't stop it from jingle jangling. Yeah, I know. It's just like, there we go.
They're pretty. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm kind of worried about mailing them. Chris is like, just put it in a box and mail it. And I'm like, but they're glass.
Well, you could just wait till we see each other again, but...
That's true. But then I have to remember where I've stored them the next time that I see you.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So in 3 years, you should get them.
Pretty much.
And moving right along, as I say. I don't even know what segment's next, so.
I don't really either. Is it Brainy Moment?
This is going to be the most scatterbrained podcast ever.
I think let's just do Brainy Moments next.
Okay.
Do you have any Brainy Moments this week?
I haven't got a one.
Okay.
So that was easy.
I have one this week.
Which is what?
There is an app for the iPhone called App Shopper, and it tells you, it has two functionalities. I mostly use it to find out what apps are free, and because some apps will go free for the day.
Okay.
And you can look for iPhone or iPad apps, and I found some pretty good apps this week. But yesterday, one of the free apps for, sometimes apps go free for a day.
Right.
And one of these free for a day apps was Pomodoro Timer. And I was like, what is a Pomodoro Timer? So I did a little research into it. And Pomodoro is a time management technique invented by this guy. I don't remember his name. But essentially, you decide on a task or something that you want to work on for 25 minutes, and you set a timer. And then did I say for 25 minutes?
Yes.
Set a timer for 25 minutes. You spend the first couple of minutes organizing and reviewing what you're going to do, then you do it, and then you spend the last couple of minutes reviewing what you did. And once the 25 minutes is up, you take a 5-minute break. And this needs to be something, hopefully, where you get up and walk around or, and think about other things, pretty much. And it kind of gives your brain a break. And then you can go on to your next Pomodoro, whatever your next one is. And after you've done 4 Pomodoros, then you're supposed to take a 20 to 30 minute break.
Okay.
And essentially, the idea is that you're allowing your body and your mind a break from whatever it is you're working on. I haven't really found, this is just something I found on the internet.
Right.
And so I don't know how much research went into developing this. Is this guy a neurosurgeon or a social psychologist and has put together different research practices and research-based practices and came up with this? Or did he just come up with it on his own because he felt like it? I don't know.
Right.
But what I like about it is the goal setting.
Right.
And I do know that there has been research done about the positive effects of goal setting. And I just really I've never really done such small incremental goal setting. What am I going to do in 25 minutes? What do I want to get done in that amount of time?
Right.
So I did it today with my sashiko because one of the reasons I hadn't started on the button band was because my needle tips were on the wrong cables. And I wasn't sure how many stitches I needed to pick up, and I wasn't sure because when you pick up stitches along the edge of so you're picking up row stitches instead of column stitches for knitting. When you pick up row stitches, you can't do it every row, otherwise you'll end up with too many stitches. And I couldn't remember if it was pick up 3 rows and skip a row or pick up 2 rows and skip a row. So I had to look it up. And then I looked it up and it was 2 rows and skip 1. So I tried that and I knit a little bit and then I didn't like it. So I did 3 rows and skip 1.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I just needed to do that stuff. So I just set my goal for the 25 minutes was to get some stitches cast on, to do all those things and just get it started. So, it was interesting, having that little time increment. And it's called pomodoro because it's like a Italian sauce, and it's a little, and you use a little tomato timer. So I guess it's like the sauce is a tomato sauce, I think. And so then there's the tomato timer, and that's why it's called that. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I will probably do it for a little while and then totally forget about it. Yeah. But something kind of interesting for now.
Sorry, my phone keeps going off. Hold on.
So popular.
That kind of stuff doesn't really... I don't work that way, so it wouldn't work for me, but I can see that might work for you. You're a much more organized person.
I just like the goal-oriented part, you know?
Yeah. So the Pomodoro technique kind of reminds me of that cousin in Jane Eyre. It's like the 2 sisters. I forget their names now, but after their mother dies, one of them sort of starts clinging to a schedule and doing things in a very meticulous way as sort of a way of coping with it. Mm-hmm. And she ends up becoming a nun, and but that's what that kind of sort of time management reminds me of. Because it sounded very ideal, but I don't think I could do... I know I couldn't do something like that. I just don't work that way.
Right. Yeah, and, it wouldn't be right for everything.
Right.
So, but, for some things, I think I'm going to try it, and we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good.
Our next section is shiny. Do you have any shiny?
I don't think so, no.
My shiny this week is totally not crafting related. It's about hair care.
Yay!
I've been using cheap shampoo for a while, and it's been drying out my hair. Yeah. And we already recorded this section once, so we're re-recording because I forgot to hit the record button.
Sorry, guys. So please get dishes.
Yes. And you mentioned that our hair doesn't respond very well to the generic cheap shampoos. But, it was fine for a while, and I got this shampoo called Kenra, and after I washed my hair, it was like, ooh, my hair's so soft now. And my partner said, you smell like a salon.
So, a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, and I really like it so far. I'm not sure if it's going to make my hair too greasy or not, because it's a moisturizing shampoo.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And I just might use it every other time, or I might not use the conditioner every time.
Right.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Our next section is hyperventilate. What are you super excited about this week?
I've mostly just been knitting. I know that it sounds very boring, but it's a true fact. So I haven't been doing anything but knitting and occasionally a little reading, and that's it.
Do you watch anything while you're knitting?
Sometimes I do, but it slows me down so badly because my attention is divided. Mm-hmm. And I've been really trying to crank on these, so...
I've noticed the same thing. I like to watch things while I'm knitting, but I don't get as much done.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to catch up on the Weasley Sister podcasts, because I got a few episodes behind, and I do like their podcast. It's just that I've been trying so hard to get through this shawl that's really been my focus. So the other night I watched an episode and got through a row, but it took me a whole episode to get through one row, and I was like, this is ridiculous. It's taking me twice as long just because I'm watching a show. I can't do this. I can barely even listen to music at the same time because then it's slow, unless it's something with a high tempo.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, it slows me down because I'm thinking about the music. So, makes it sound very difficult, but my life's not so bad.
Well, my ideal situation would be to be able to play video games and knit at the same time, but I need an extra set of arms. And until that happens, I have to play my video games separately. I've been playing Legends of Mana again, the old PlayStation 2 game, and I really enjoy it. I like there's these little mini stories, so they're kind of little achievement things that you need to do to make the storyline progress.
Mm-hmm.
And it has that diary feature where if you didn't play for a couple months, you go into the diary and you're like, oh, that's what I was supposed to be doing.
I love that stuff. It's very helpful.
Yeah. The only problem was, I think it's probably the first couple, it seems like a new thing, and it doesn't have the full synopsis of the story. It just has one line about what you're supposed to be doing, so I can't really remember what the whole storyline was behind it. I remember to talk to you about it. Speaking of video games, I was at Fry's Electronics, and apparently they have used video games there. Did you know that? They have used video games at Fry's Electronics. And
I'm trying not to buy any more video games since I don't even have a TV right now.
I didn't tell you that. So I saw that there's these DS games for the Shin Megami, the demon summoner. And I was wondering, I saw 2 different ones for the DS, and I was wondering if you'd heard if any of those were good, because I have a DS.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know too much about their handheld stuff.
Okay.
Honestly, I really love Atlas. Or at least, I kind of did. I still do, okay. They made at least, 2 of my favorite games, so... But they haven't really done any new kind of character creation for, demons. Most of their stuff is just recycled stuff that they have been using since, using and slightly refining since, the 80s. Time to make something new. I'm over it. I don't want to see the same opponents in every game. The stats are different or whatever, but... And, the graphics get better as time goes on, but it's still the same... demon character or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what the purpose of that is. Why not make a whole new set of demons?
It's yeah, I don't know.
Because I saw on the back of one of them, 20 new demons. Ooh, out of 180?
Yeah, or
so
more,
that means that if you're
following
this, if you've been following this, you've already know all the demons. How fun is that? I don't know.
Well, there's a contingent of people that are very, very into RPGs and who will spend hundreds of hours, doing this kind of thing. And that's fine. It's just that at some point you're cutting out a large portion of your market. And I understand having a little niche market, but make it a little broader. Bring it up, find another artist to do another set of demons. It's not gonna, the artist is good. I like him. I like his stuff. I have some of the books of his sketches and stuff. It's just move on. Move on. You can tell I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
So get on your game, Atlas. I'm tired of it. And I'm not buying any more of their games. I can't. This is ridiculous. I love the ones that I have that I play.
Mm-hmm.
But I have 1 or 2 of the other ones, and I got, maybe an hour and a half in, and I'm like, these are all the same thing I've already seen before. Just different stats. And I don't care enough about them to really care that the stats are different.
Yeah.
I really don't. I guess I'm not hardcore of a gamer enough, but oh well.
You don't need to be.
Yeah, thankfully.
The other thing that I have still been watching is Murder, She Wrote. With the character Jessica Fletcher, played by Angela Lansbury. I do know her name. I just forgot it in that other episode, but I do actually know it.
Yay.
And the latest episode that I watched, she's on a jury as the head juror person. I don't know what the title is. But it was an interesting way for them to tell a different story, to tell a story without her being a detective. Right. So she's given testimony that some of it's true and some of it's fake, because most of the time she's just finding out facts and then piecing things together. But this time she had two different sets of the same story, and which one's true. So, and neither of them were true. She figured out the real story, so that was kind of interesting.
Very exciting.
Yes, so I enjoyed that. It's in season 2. I'll link to the episode. I don't remember what it's called. Nope, don't remember what it's called.
There's a lot of episodes to that show, so you're not going to run out of things to watch anytime soon.
243 episodes.
That's a lot.
In. Yes. That's it for Hyperventilate this week. On to books. And you haven't read much, right?
Nope.
Okay. I finished Snow Falling on Cedars by David Gutterson. Gutterson? I don't know how to say his last name. It's a PEN/Faulkner Award winner. I don't know what that means.
It's mysterious to me.
But it's the first time in a while, not the first time. It's been a while since I have read literature. And it has symbolism and, character writing, and there's a lot of description of the town and the place. It's set in an island just off the coast of Washington in Puget Sound. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of descriptions of the place, and, the language that he uses describes kind of, what's going on, like the feeling and the mood of what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's set about 10 years after World War II.
Okay.
And it's a murder trial is the main focus of the story. Mm-hmm. And it goes into the lives of 3 characters at the time of the murder trial, and it also goes back to explain their lives. So the storyline isn't chronological. It jumps back and forth between history and now. And it's in a way that it's just kind of people remembering that time, and right. I think that's interesting because that's kind of what we do, right? We're not always just moving forward. Sometimes we're remembering stuff that happened before, and it's influencing how we're acting now.
Right.
So I thought it was an interesting way of telling. It's not the only book that tells the story that way, but it worked well for the story. I'm glad I reread it. I liked it. It's not for everyone. There's a couple of scenes of war violence in it, so if you're not into that, I wouldn't read it. And it also gets a little raunchy here and there, so if you're not into that, I wouldn't read it either.
Did you decide whether or not you're going to keep it? Is it a bookshelf?
I haven't. It might not make the next cut when I move, but it's kind of nice to have it around for right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I probably just won't take it with me the next time I move. The other book I want to talk about is about cooking. I went to the library to get some more ideas for things to make, and this book is called Keep It Seasonal by Anne Waite. I really like the way this book is laid out. It's laid out by season, and each season has sandwiches, soups, and salads.
Okay.
Everything looks really fresh, and the photography is really nice, so it's just it's a nice coffee table book in and of itself, even if it didn't have delicious recipes in it. This one is an idea for a beet and goat cheese sandwich with watercress. So really simple, right? Bread, watercress, beets, goat cheese. Right. That's it, and I think she made it a little bit more complicated with cooking some of the beets and something, but I just roasted the beets, and it's the first time I've roasted beets. It was super easy. Just put them in the oven, little olive oil and salt, roast them until the skin comes off, and chopped them up, put them in some sandwiches. It was really, really tasty. So I highly recommend, and I really liked the book because, as a vegetarian, a lot of times cookbooks are like meat all the time, meat all the time.
Yeah.
But this I would say maybe 15% of the recipes have meat in them. So the rest of the recipes are all vegetarian. And
Right.
cooking seasonal and with a bunch of fruits and veggies, you're going to end up that way, with less meat
Right.
in it.
And even though I do eat meat, I don't generally eat a lot of it. So when a meal is so meat heavy, or a cuisine is meat heavy, it's just very off-putting to me, and I'm a lot less inclined to be interested in it.
And it's more difficult to figure out, like, is this still going to be tasty without the meat in it? Because
Right.
some things are only tasty because there's ham in it, and the ham makes
Yeah.
everything else tasty.
Right.
So one of the things I liked about my vegetarian cooking class is that there were a couple of recipes that we did that called for meat that we did without meat. So it
Oh,
was
okay.
kind of showing us how to, like, what kinds of recipes.
Adapt.
She didn't really
Yeah.
talk about it much because she's like, going everywhere, doing everything.
Right.
But kind of infer that information from it. I highly
Getting
recommend
back.
that book. I don't know if that author has any more books, but I would check those out too. What were you saying?
Oh, how did you like the beets? You said you roasted them?
Yes, they were delicious. I
Okay.
got them at the farmer's market, so they were fresh.
Okay.
And I learned that you want to pick beets that are firm because that means they are more fresh than ones that are that you could take the beet and you can like squish it. It's an old beet. It was taken out of the ground a while ago, but if it's still growing, like roots are hard.
Right.
So it makes sense. When I heard that, I was like, that makes sense. And carrots, when they get older, they get kind of wilty. So
Yeah, and like
fresh
salt.
carrots are hard. Well, fresh beets are also the same way. They're
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's very handy. Because I just came across someone suggesting roasting the beets, and that's what made me think about it. Because I've always liked the canned pickled beets growing up, but I don't think I've ever had a fresh beet, except maybe in a salad or something. And even then, they're probably just pickled beets.
Yeah, they're really good, and they're so easy. It wasn't like it was some hard process to cook the beet. You just put it in the oven and let it cook until it's soft.
And delicious.
Some olive oil, and some salt, and I put mine in some tin foil to keep all the juices and stuff in there. It was fine. Delicious. And because I went to the farmer's market, I found beets that you can't get in a can or at a regular supermarket because they probably don't keep well or some reason, but they're orange color, and they're super sweet. They're really good.
Really?
So, and then it was fun because I was eating orange beets.
Yeah, I love the sort of off-brand produce, like the stuff you can't really get at the grocery store because nobody wants to buy a white carrot or whatever,
Yeah.
But those are the ones that are usually so flavorful.
And that's one of the things that this book was talking about was heirloom tomatoes. That heirloom tomatoes are tomatoes that, where seeds were passed down because were so delicious. But they don't work in commercial production because they don't look uniform and they don't keep well. So they don't transport, and commercial production needs things that are going to keep well and transport. So
and look good. That's another thing.
Yeah, and that's why your tomatoes at your general big box store don't taste as good because they were bred for those qualities, not for their flavor. But heirloom tomatoes, bred for their flavor. And so my farmer's market didn't have very many yet. It's still really early for tomatoes. They had cherry tomatoes, but I expect maybe in a couple of weeks because of where I am, we'll see some tomatoes pretty soon. So
had some really good cherry tomatoes. I don't remember who had them now, which is a friend, but they were really good. So I was like, and I never expect the tomatoes in a salad to be good, so I hardly ever eat them, but I took a chance, and I was really glad I did.
Yay!
I think they must have grown them there themselves, though.
That's always better.
Yeah. I know our upstairs neighbors do, too, so.
Okay, so those are my books. On to Ear Party. What have you been listening to this week?
So I've been mostly listening to the same stuff that I was listening to before, but I've been going through and listening to whole CDs at a time, because I haven't really listened to music like that in a while, where you listen to the whole CD instead of just one track. So I've been having fun with that. But what else was I listening to? Oh, more Chiba. They're kind of sort of like a psychedelic lounge kind of thing, which makes them sound a lot more exciting than they really are. They're just kind of like slow pop. Would probably be the best way to describe them. So I'll link to a couple of their songs, but I like them. Most of what I've listened to by them I like, but I haven't gotten through a lot of their playlist yet. I've only listened to one CD, but I liked it. What else? Yeah, same stuff as like last week or whatever. So no need to reiterate that. What about you?
I've been listening to Pentatonics. They're an a cappella group, so that means that they just use their voices to sing. There's 5 of them, so that's why it's called Pentatonics, because it's a play on words. Pentatonic is a 5-note scale in music, and so they just changed the ending to pentatonics.
Very cute.
So there's 5 of them, yeah. They have a beatboxer, and I think they found him on YouTube. I think that's how they found him to join the group. They cover pop songs. So they listen to pop songs, and then they redo it for the 5 voices. And they're really, really good. I enjoy... They're just fun and upbeat, and it's...
I think I've heard of them. I have to listen to some of their songs to know, but...
They won some kind of show thing. I don't know. I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff.
I don't pay attention to any of those, so I wouldn't know it with them.
Yeah.
From TV.
But that's what I've been listening to.
Cool. Do they have anything that's online? Can we link to it?
Oh, yeah. They're all over YouTube. They have a YouTube channel.
Good.
Yeah. So I'll link to some of the things that I enjoy of them.
Cool.
Yeah. Walks in the urban wilderness. How have you been doing with exercise?
I did good this week. I got in my 4, including working yesterday, where I worked from 9 to 5 gardening. Okay, I took a knit break, but obviously. I am so tired now. Oh my gosh. That was a lot of work. But I'm going to be doing it again next week, so hopefully, before you know it, I will be fit as a fiddle. Even though it's only 1 day a week. But still, that's a lot of hours. That's like at least 6 hours of gardening. And that's so tired. So tired. Oh.
I think I'm going to retract your phrase of I'm lazy if you're doing all that work. It's not lazy work.
I know, and I had to, like, talk to so many people and, like, beg and be a Slytherin just to be able to be there for so long. Because, like, everybody's like, go home. And I'm like, but I want to work till 5. Why is this a problem?
I want to keep gardening.
I know, it's like they couldn't, a lot of people couldn't wrap their head around it, and other people were like, just go home. And I'm like, okay, well, you're not the person I need to be talking to. Next person. Until I finally found the person who told me, okay, go for it. Just make sure they don't turn the sprinklers on you.
Awesome.
Good jerk. Yeah, exactly. So, I'm enjoying that, though. And it means I get to see a lot of wildlife. Which is really...
that's the segment. When we did this before, we forgot I Spy.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So, well, let's finish this segment and then we can do I Spy.
All right. So I did good. What about you?
I got 2 walks in. I walked around the outlet mall. This outlet mall is gigantic. Most people go from store to store by driving, and I walked instead. So I probably walked at least 2 or 3 miles while I was shopping. And then I did another walk, just around the block kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. So I got my 2 in. I didn't do yoga. And then yesterday when I was bending down to pet my cat, my back was like, no!
Just like that.
And I tweaked my back out. I think normally people call this throwing your back out. Well, it's just me not doing preventative care. If I do preventative care, some things that an old chiropractor gave me and yoga, this doesn't happen. But right. I haven't been doing that. I moved and I'm not doing yoga. And so my goals need to change because I need to actually do these things so that I can stay healthy and well. Right. So my new goal is 2 actual hours of yoga a week. One of those hours at a yoga studio, and then another hour, either like 20 minutes here and there, or just like another hour section during the week. Mm-hmm. I need to get it in for my back. So there's an Iyengar studio near me. That style of yoga is concerned with proper alignment and also with the contrary motion of muscles as the way that the stretch happens. It's the way that I learned how to do yoga when I was in college. The first yoga class I took was like that. So the studio is close to me. I know there's a beginner class on Saturday. I just need to go. And
you can do it.
So that's going to be my goal, is to go to that class. It's a new place. It's new people. I don't like new things,
Scary.
because I am human and I like things that I know.
Right.
Which is, just the way it is. So I just got to get out of my comfort zone a little bit and go and do that. I'm fine once I get there. I do not care about other people being all bendy and flexy, because I'm not bendy and flexy. I never have been. I don't care.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I'm bendy and flexy in, really odd ways.
Yeah, me.
Randomly I can do things that are flexible, but I can't bend down to touch my toes.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So I need to do that. And so that is going to be my new goal from today until the next time we podcast.
Okay. Sounds like a good goal.
Yes. So I Spy, what have you been out seeing? Because I haven't been out seeing anybody, because you don't see anybody at the outlets.
Gosh. So I went to, not only did I go to the garden and see, everything that was there, which is pretty much the same thing as last week. So, and then there was, a kestrel. Oh, my God. It was, so chatty. I was like, what are you doing? Shut up. Shut up. Yeah. I don't think I've ever felt that way about a bird before, but it was, chatting, over my head. But I also went to the wetlands that are near us. Well, sort of near us. We have to drive to get to them. But, and I saw so many birds because the tide was low. So all of them, all the little short birds were there. Yeah, I saw long-billed curlews and marbled godwits and sandpipers and killdeer and all sorts of other... Anything that stabs in the mud, just kind of assume that I saw it. And it looks like... some of the ducks are either coming back or have never left. I think I saw a merganser, but I don't know. He was kind of a long bird, so I don't know what it was if it wasn't a merganser. What else did I see? I saw so many things. I'm going to get exhausted having to think about it. It was a really nice day, too. Great blue herons. I couldn't tell if he was molting or if he was immature or somewhere in between getting his first adult plumage or something, because he looked kind of weird. Mm-hmm. I was like, I thought he was an immature one at first. Then I was like, but you've got some of the adult plumage in your wings. What you doing?
Teenager. No,
he was flying around acting like an idiot, so he probably was a teenager.
No offense, teenagers.
No offense to all the teenagers out there who also fly around and act like an idiot.
Because Lord knows I did.
Yeah, that's true. Me too. But, God, what else? Cormorants? I don't even know.
Cormorants are the ones that have their wings out, right? They dry off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I did see something. Driving along the freeway, right next to the ocean, there was this tree full of cormorants with nests and stuff.
Yep.
It was so cool. It was like, hey, look, it's cormorant nesting in that one tree.
Isn't it awesome? I know, it's pretty crazy when you see a group of them together.
Yeah, so that was really cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I saw. There was a lot. You don't understand.
That is a lot. I saw a hummingbird in my oak tree.
Yeah?
Flitting around. Flit, bye!
Yeah, I feel kind of bad. I don't think the hummingbird feeders worked out very well for Dad. So I got a couple other flowers, plants that flower that I think that they like. Or at least that I vaguely recollect that they like. So I'm going to repot those and then give them to Dad in the hopes that I can lure more into the general
they probably just
area.
don't know where it is.
Yeah. Once they figure it out, I don't think it'll be a problem. But it's
Yeah,
like
because
getting
I have some hummingbirds that know where my bird of paradise is. They come in to my little patio, go over, look around, nothing there, and go away. You know, like they know right where the bird of paradise is. They're like, there was some here before. Is there any now? No? Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Yeah.
We've had a ton of bumblebees around our house. What else have we seen? Well, they're not bumblebees, they're honeybees. I'm trying to think if I've seen anything particularly awesome.
Like a snake? That was so
Yeah.
cool.
No. You know what I didn't see, and that it's kind of weird to me now, is I didn't see any black neck stilts like I usually used to do at the waterfront. But they've changed that area a lot, and they've it used to be kind of stagnant, but they opened up another pathway to the ocean so that the whole area drains a little bit better. And it looks like it's worked really well. All the bird life is taken off. So obviously they know what they were doing. So, and it looks like just the area looks kind of fresher. It's not all just like dead pickleweed. That's another thing I saw. I saw pickleweed. Oh, and a Belding Savannah sparrow. At least I think it's a Belding Savannah sparrow. But identifying sparrows is kind of like
Do you have your mark here, or your mark here, or your mark here, or your mark here, or your mark here? You know, like what? I don't. It's a sparrow.
Just going by location and you know the quick IDs that I saw, and I'm assuming that it's one. But since that's like an endangered bird, it might not have been. So don't get cranky. That wasn't it, people. Okay, so I'm just assuming that was it was. But I was like, oh my gosh, look at that. It could be that endangered bird. And then Chris is like, whatever. He's just like walking along, enjoying the scenery. And I'm like, look, oh, the birds. Oh, I saw ruddy ducks. What else? Although not many of them. Maybe not everybody's back yet. It really was very small amounts of ducks, so I don't know what was going on. I think I saw a bufflehead, too. But don't quote me on it. I told you I saw a lot of birds. I was like...
You did.
When I was walking there, I was like, oh God, I'm going to hate podcast day because I'm just going to be yammering on about every... I was like, I'm not making a list. Forget it. If I remember it, I remember it. And if I don't, nobody needs to hear it anyway because I'm going to have so much else to talk about. It's not going to be a problem. Oh, I saw there were coots. And they were walking, though, because you could see their little lobate toes with the little meep, meep. And they're, like, kind of green. So funny.
Oh, so cute.
They're so cute. They are. So I say cute, cute when I see them. Okay, I'm totally a dork.
Cute, cute.
Yeah.
You get it? You get it? It's like cute, cute, but it's cute, cute. You get it? You get it? Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Okay.
On to random.
I think we're already kind of there.
My random thing for this week is that I went to the farmer's market yesterday and I bought a thing of strawberries and they were so good because it's strawberry season here, and normally like we just buy one little container of strawberries because like we have problems with eating things and whether before they go bad, and this container was gone when we got it home. Or like, and within an hour of bringing it home we'd eaten all the strawberries.
Success.
They were so firm, and I think they've been picked the day before, so they were really good.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah.
And now
it's
I'm
about
hungry.
Time for all those chocolate-covered strawberry delicious things.
Oh, something random. Terry and I are trying to do a low-sugar diet thing for a week.
Okay.
Her family has a history of diabetes, so it's probably just good that we start lowering our sugar intake.
Right.
Sugar's not good for me anyway. Might as well join her.
Right.
So it's been really interesting how difficult it is. Like, our bread is very sweet here. Apparently it's not so sweet in other countries, but sugar is in almost every bread that we have here. So, and if I'm thinking about making some bread at home, but homemade bread doesn't last as long. So, it's half a dozen of one and half a dozen of the other, whatever. So we'll see how it goes.
Freeze that? I don't know if I've ever tried to freeze homemade bread before. I don't know if that's doable. I mean,
If you know
theoretically.
if you can freeze homemade bread, let us know, because we'd be very interested.
Oh, one of the ladies at the place I used to work, every Christmas she would make like this, I don't know what is in it other than molasses, but it was the best bread ever. And then Chris brought it home this last Christmas, and I was like, give me home. He's like, what's the big deal about this bread? Because he didn't have any last time. I ate it all because he was like, I don't know about this bread, and it's because it's brown, and it doesn't look like, your typical white bread or whatever. It's very thick. But it's so good. Oh my gosh. So I made the mistake of sharing a slice with him, and then he helped me eat it.
Oh, oops.
He helped me eat half the loaf.
Well, I guess you got the other half.
But I had the whole one last time. I swear. All you need is a little butter with that bread. I just ate the bread plain half the time. It was so good.
Delicious.
Ugh. I hate to think of how many calories were probably in that to make it so delicious, but it's full of miracles.
The other thing I wanted to mention in random was thanks to Stripey Squirrel for mentioning a glue. She was talking about the E6000 glue.
Was it 6,000?
Yes.
I don't remember. Wrote it down.
Stripey Squirrel, they went back in and posted again that it wasn't, they originally posted E3000, but it was E6000.
Oh. Okay.
So thank you for that. We always like good glue recommendations. Our mother was the queen of glue. Mm-hmm. She had whole bins of it because she's very crafty and repairs dolls and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And needed different kinds of glue for different kinds of things. But she doesn't live locally anymore, so we can't raid her glue anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, we can't steal her glue, so we need to start our own glue stash. So.
Yeah. So thank you for the recommendation.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to try them. Like, I have to wait until I get done with the shawl, and then I have so many other, like, half-finished projects and ideas in my head that I want to do. I'm probably just going to collapse after I finish the shawl. That's number one. And then I'll get to everything that I want to do.
Sounds pretty much about right.
I want to try the puffy paint. I got to try out all.
Anything
She gave
else?
a good idea with the puffy paint, too, so I'll have to try that out. Oh, one other random thing while I'm thinking about it. Are you on Goodreads?
No. I signed up a long time ago, but I don't remember my login, so I'm going to say no.
Okay. Yeah. That's almost the same thing, pretty much.
Yeah, I have a little notebook where I write down what books I've read.
Okay.
That's what I like to do.
The ladies at my book group, because I get together once a month, we read a book and then, talk about it the next month. And it would help them pick book selections that are more along the line of something that I want to read, if they know what I've already read, etc., etc.
Is that what they've said?
Huh?
Is that what they've said?
Yeah. They say it nicer than that. I'm kind of summarizing at this point. Because obviously they're all nice people. But, so that's something that's kind of on my to-do list. But I've always put it off because I read a lot. When I start trying to list everything I've read, it gets really tedious.
Well, and just pick a book from a genre. Like, put in Jane Eyre, put in Pride and Prejudice, put in,
Well, one of the ladies suggested just do 20.
Yeah, there you go.
20 of the first, most recent things or the top favorites or whatever.
Or the 21st books that pop in your head.
Well, that would probably be, like, the rainbow fish and stuff that aren't really age appropriate, so... That's
you know what I mean, you goofball.
I know. But the rainbow fish is legitimate literature.
And with that, I think we're going to end it there.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, and our show notes can be found at sistersoftheholyfiber.wordpress.com. Come and leave a comment there or join in our conversations with our Ravelry group. We have an ear party thread. Come in and join it and have some new things to listen to. Bye.
Bye, guys.